Hello, you guys. So today I will be giving you an analysis on Romeo and Juliet, Act 1. So let's begin. So first you have the prologue, and the prologue in Act 1 specifically, or actually the first prologue, which is before Act 1, is very important because it has figurative language, and that figurative language is foreshadowing, which is very important because it shows or it tells us about leading events, indirectly or directly. In this case, it does tell us directly because it does tell us that the lover's death is the reason for the family's feud to end. And it mentions pair of stars crossed lovers, which means they are ill-fated, which means they have bad luck. So when someone has bad luck, you know that something bad usually happens to them. So now let us go to the act. So are we at Act 1? Okay. So now I'll be explaining what happens in each act. Now I'll be, explaining what I wrote down and explaining more and just analyzing. So Samson and Gregory are the servants of Capulet's house, and they are flat characters. So flat characters are characters that don't really change, and don't really focus on Samson and Gregory. They're just side minor characters in this play. But here we know that the servants have a fight. The servants between the two houses. We have two houses, the Capulet house and the Montague house, and these houses are enemies. So these houses have feuds, and these feuds lead to lots of chaos. And the fact that the servants are fighting shows something. There's something really good about Shakespeare. Actually, I find it cool about Shakespeare is that he shows us many things indirectly. So in this case, he shows us that the servants fighting is the extent of this fight. It's not that people in charge of the houses or parts of the families, yet they are the servants. That's how severe the fight is. And then you have Abraham, who's a Montague servant, and someone else comes with Abraham, but their name is not mentioned. And then the biting thumb, so someone bites their thumb, and biting the thumb is a sign of disrespect. So Samson bites his thumb to show disrespect, and Samson and Gregory use the sides. And Benvolio attempts to stop the fight. Okay, so basically, first, the servants begin to fight, the servants of the Capulet house and the Montague house. Then Tybalt enters. Tybalt is from the Capulet house. He is the cousin of Juliet Capulet, who is the protagonist, or maybe the tragic hero. And Tybalt is very fiery, he has a fiery personality, and he is very aggressive. He loves fighting, and he just has such a temper. And you have Benvolio, who is from the Montague house, who is the cousin of Romeo, who is also the protagonist and the tragic hero. And Benvolio has a peacemaking personality, and he often tries to stop the fights between the families. So he's someone who's against fighting, and he always thinks, peace is more important than fighting. And that makes Benvolio and Tybalt foil characters because they are completely different. One loves fighting, one wants peace. So you can see the difference. And if you don't know what foil characters are completely different people with completely different personalities, which show the good and bad things about them. So Tybalt shows the goodness of Benvolio because he is a peacemaker, he wants peace, and Benvolio shows the bad side of Tybalt, which is the fact that he loves fighting and he has such a temper. So then Tybalt starts a fight, as you know, because I wrote he shows his chaotic nature, and then Prince Escalate stops the fight and warns them that if any fights break out again, they will be killed. So basically, what happened is that the Prince of Verona came and warned them that if the fight doesn't stop, then they will be killed. He actually warns Lord Capulet and Lord Montague because Lord Capulet and Lord Montague later enter the fight with both of their ladies, and then the prince comes. Now, the prince is a sign of authority. He is the government and he is here to stop the fight. So, if you are asked what's the sign of a prince, he is the sign of authority. And the prince comes with his people, which, with his bodyguards, and that shows that he's an important figure in Verona and he is respected, thus, he should be listened to. And then we have figurative language, so neighbors stained steel. So this means that blood on swords and their neighbors' blood, since they all came from Verona. So they are fighting, and they are fighting each other, and the blood that's on the swords is the blood of their neighbors, because they are all from Verona and they are hurting each other. They are neighbors. And another figurative language is said, with purple fountains issuing from your veins. Actually, and blood oozes from veins. So basically, when they say purple fountains, is because your veins are purple, and the blood is going out of your veins, basically. So let us go down a bit now. So the oxymoron. So if you don't know what an oxymoron is, it is basically two opposite words in together. So basically, love hate, or healthy sick. Let me just read the ones from Romeo and Juliet, because I'm not giving very good examples here. So brawling love, loving hate, heavy lightness, serious vanity. So you can see the oxymoron, the difference in words. And these are some examples from Act 1. And then you have alliteration. So alliteration is the same pronunciation. So I looked like, if looking like, move. So you can see the repetition in the L. My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready to stand. So this is actually very important, and this is something you have to take down. If you're taking notes, this is something you have to take down for sure. Write down, actually, is that Romeo is trying to elevate Juliet and his relationship spiritually. So what do I mean by that? My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready to stand. So basically, he's trying to say that he is not attracted to Juliet purely for her looks. He's also attracted to her for her personality. He's attracted to all of her looks, her personality, the way she thinks, the way she talks, the way she acts. He likes it all. He doesn't like her purely for her looks, and that's what he's trying to say, that, and that's why he's trying to elevate the relationship, because he likes her fully. And from lines 90 to 110, so this is if you have the the act next to you, or the text next to you. In scene 5, Romeo kisses Juliet twice, and he says that she takes his sins, and then she gives him back his sins by kissing him back. So now these are the events, in case you got lost. But again, actually not again, I never said this, but if you are watching this video, I prefer you read the act before you watch this video. That way you won't be very confused, and it will be easier for you to catch up and take notes. But if not, it's fine, but it's better for you to have read it before. So the events. So first, a fight breaks out between servants of Capulet and Montagues. Benvolio joins them. Then Tybalt comes and attacks him. Montague and his wife come. Then Capulet and his wife come. The prince comes and stops the fight. Capulet stays with the prince, and then Montague comes. Then Montague is supposed to come again. And then here is where I have lots of things to say. So Lord Montague expresses to Benvolio, his son's cousin, that he is worried and concerned about his son because Romeo has not come out of his room for days. And Romeo tells Benvolio about his heartbreak. So basically, Romeo is in love with this woman named Rosaline. But Rosaline does not love Romeo back. She does not want to be in a relationship with Romeo. She does not plan on getting married. So she does not want to be with him. And that is why Romeo's heart is broken, because he loves someone, but the love is unrecruited. So Benvolio suggests Romeo to examine other beauties. By examining other beauties is to see other women, and that way he would be distracted and he will forget about Rosaline. And that leads to many other things. And the themes. So we have, till now we have only themes violence and hate. And we have love, which is the emphasis of love in the prologue, and the well, the fact that the prologue mentioned love shows us that the play will probe love. We will have a lot of love in the play. Violence, it points out to the hatred that is infectious, and hatred is people's weakness. So basically, hatred is something that spreads around very fast, especially in human nature, and it's infectious. It's like it just keeps going around, and it's people's weakness. Sometimes people try not to hate each other, and sometimes people avoid hating each other, but sometimes it's really, really, really difficult to avoid it, and especially between the Montague and the Capulets, where it's been there for generations and it's in their blood, and hatred is people. So this is it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and if you want Act 2, comment down below. Thank you so much for watching.